Are we live? Yeah, we're live. Okay, ready? Here we go.
Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects and the like. Thanks for joining me today as we uncover the mystery of the Mandela effect itself and find out the true meaning of it all. We must discover what is really happening, what is really going on, to change these things that we know and hold dear to us. And let us help others discover the meaning of the Mandela effect, how it affects them, and the price of help. Thank you. And be sure to hit the like and subscribe down below.
Okay. So, hey, what's up, you guys? How you doing today?
Hey, everyone.
That's Stasha we have here as our special guest. She's going to be talking about her new book on the Mandela Effect. Stasha, would you mind telling us about that, about the title and where you got the title from?
Yes. Well, first, I just want to say thank you for having me on your show, Brian. I'm so glad we were finally able to coordinate a good day and time with our time difference issues. And I really love your work. I've been watching a lot of your content recently and have been very impressed with it. And I noticed that most of my subscribers are mutual subscribers of yours. And I thought it was really good to come on and meet some of your people and just talk a little bit about this book that I've been working on, because it really is a book for our entire community. So essentially what I did was I have published and written the first full-length book on the Mandela Effect. The paperback edition is about 350 pages and the Kindle is about 330. So it's pretty long, and it's a research, it's really a research book more than any type of like science fiction or conspiracy theory book. And what I've done is I've taken the effects and the research from every Mandela Effect researcher, even from Fiona Broome, who apparently coined the term, up into like every YouTuber that most of us watch that do Mandela Effect videos, like Moneybag73 and Harmony Mandela Effect and Dr. Taryn Lupo and many others. Pretty much anybody who's put out Mandela Effect research in the past year, I have been compiling all of this research into a very organized book for everybody so that we can get all of our memories recorded as they were before and after, just in case if things continue to change again. I want to make sure that we can hold on tight to our memories, and also just to introduce the Mandela Effect to the world so that the people like you and I that don't, we know about it, but the rest of the world doesn't. I want everyone to know about this effect so they can start looking into it, and eventually we'll have answers as to what it is. So that's a little summary.
I think we're getting closer because the AI seems like they keep getting in our way, trying to stop us. So I think we're getting closer. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the AI are probably one of my biggest enemies right now. I used to think they were just a conspiracy theory, but they're very real. And I've been dealing with a lot of AI chatbots. I don't know if you've heard about chatbots, but they're kind of AI robots that come to your YouTube channel and they leave lots of comments, and they're really using very lovely comments on opposite day. And then, and so, yeah, that you'll have a lot of that coming your way, and they will just like put negative comments or negative connotations, or, Mandela Effect isn't real, and anyone the Mandela Effect is crazy and all that jazz. So I've had a lot of that coming lately, and I thought it was from humans, but after a little research I've done, you can kind of find out the source is coming from an AI robot. So that's a new thing. So if you get a lot of strange, mean messages on your YouTube channel, maybe not all coming from humans.
Yes, and especially you can sort of tell because they have like 0 subscribers, 0 videos uploaded. Am I right?
Yes, yes. And they usually give like 1-sentence responses. They're kind of, they learn from code and programming. So if you respond to the troll, for instance, like Feed the Troll, if you give a response to a negative comment and they are a chatbot, then they learn about you and they learn from your responses, and they'll kind of learn your weak spots, and they'll know how to attack you even better the next time. So it's best just if you feel one in your presence, delete them, block them, and for it.
What'd you say? What was the last part?
Yeah, I've just got to delete them, block them, and move on, and you will be better off in the end.
Exactly. Exactly. Your
Yes.
kung fu has to be better than theirs.
Yes.
I wanted to
Exactly.
ask you, you actually named your book after your first video you ever made on Mandela Effect, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first video I ever made was I had a client, and I talk about this in the book, a client named David. And I've been doing ministry work for many years, and so I would do kind of prayer ceremonies for people and deliverance, and do healing ceremonies for people with faith healing. And this was one of my faith healing clients that I hadn't helped for almost 2 or 3 years. The last time I had helped him was we were in the south of France in like 2013. And he reached out to me out of nowhere and said, I have to tell you about this crazy thing that has come across my path, and I don't know what it is. And I don't trust that many people who have a spiritual background, but I trust you. So can you tell me what this is and what's going on with it? And his smoking gun was the Berenstain Bears. And so I just only had his letter to work off of. I hadn't seen this on YouTube. I hadn't heard about it. I hadn't seen it trending, the Mandela Effect, yet. So when I went and started Googling it, and I started researching this Berenstain thing, my mind was blown first because I read those Berenstain Bear books every day when I was a kid. And I went, yeah, it just doesn't look right to me either. So I had some credibility behind who he was as a person. And then when I looked at it, I said, okay, I can agree with at least that one. But then everything started to unravel because it didn't just stop there. Then it was Jiffy, and then it was something else and something else. And before I knew it, a quick video to talk to people about the Mandela Effect. And I ended up compiling a list that was so long that it was like 63 long pages in a Word document. So 63 long pages is about double that in a regular page. So I had so many lists of effects. I thought, oh my gosh, I have to like categorize this, alphabetize this. This is going to take forever. This could end up being a book. So I just hit record on YouTube and just kind of wanted to like talk over the first few effects. And it was going to be Berenstain and Jiffy peanut butter and stuff like that. And when I got 45, 50 minutes into the video, just barely scratching the surface, I went, gosh, you guys, I think this may have to be like an ongoing video project, or maybe even eventually a book, because there's so much here. I can't put this in one video. And that's how it started. And so many people commented, and that video just blew up overnight. And then that's essentially how my relationship with the Mandela Effect started, because there were so many more things to cover. And then everybody was just so fascinated by it. So that whole first video and everyone's comments that were left on it, I also included in the book. So it's kind of funny. I don't even recognize myself from that first video. I feel like I've learned so much since then. Yeah. But it started accidentally for me, basically. And now I've become like an expert in it, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So you kind of just fell into it, but it was like a calling from God, wasn't it? Like he told you to do it. He gave you an assignment and a mission. So
yeah, he does that a lot with me. And what really happened is that many times I've wanted to leave YouTube, and it's because of the negativity that was never there before, by the way. This is a very new thing. But when I was getting attacked so much, it was becoming very exhausting to show up and want to help, the world when there was so much negativity with any video. It didn't matter what I covered, especially if I covered anything about God. And so when I got so much feedback the first time and it led to another video, I just thought, what is this? What is happening? And my second video was, of course, about Bible changes. And that's when the light bulb kind of went off. And when I started looking into this, I was like, oh my gosh. And I literally kind of received a message from God. And the only way I can describe it is he said in his own way that I'm placing you back into the church. Because I did this, I started a degree in theology in 2011, but I took a little break. And I just wanted to finish it someday. And he said, I'm going to put you back in the church again, because you have the eyes to see the deception that has been happening within the church, and not just with the Holy Bibles, but within how the church system works as a whole. And I was like, what? Like, I don't have time for this. I'm almost 40. I've had 5 careers. I got 3 kids. 2 of them are grown adults now. Like, what? And so I literally took the call that he wanted me to kind of help heal the Christian faith in some way. And it's a lot deeper than that, but it was essentially, as I started reading the Bible changes, that I realized this is what I had to do. So within a few months later, I enrolled back in school, and now I'm full-time theology master right now. So it's crazy. I'm doing that full-time and doing all of this, but it's only through divine inspiration that I could get through it. I really believe God has a hand in the Mandela effect. And whether he's just correcting all the mistakes that someone else is making, I don't know. Or whether he's trying to show us something that has been hidden from us for a long time, I don't know. But I do feel this is a spiritual battle.
I feel the same way. I've been leaning on that fence about what that answer you just gave us. I've been wondering if it's a revelation from God, that, you know, something that's like an unveiling.
Yeah.
You know, because the veil has been over our heads for so long. Isn't that right?
That's what I think. I feel a lot of us that see the effects are people who are able to see past the veil, or can lift the veil ourselves and, you know, look around and see what's really going on. But we're also able to put it back down and be a part of the rest of everyday society. We can't take things so hardcore that every minute of our day is Mandela effects, conspiracies, and blah, blah, blah. Get the truth out there. There's got to be a balance of that, like being aware of it. But yeah, but what will you do to make the world better? What will your little part be? And if for me, if it's just writing these books to help open people's eyes, cool. I'll probably just write 3 books on this effect and walk away, because I feel like I'm just here to like present it to a larger group of people in some way, only because I've written books before, and I'm kind of using the fact that I've been an author already to help get this taken seriously. If I came out of nowhere just putting my first book out about the Mandela effect, probably no one would take me seriously. So I think that's also part of why God chose me, at least, to write the first really long. I see other books on the Mandela effect, but they're just kind of short. But I feel like this is the first full-length research book that it has ever existed. So I think it's really important.
I think so too. And you know, the Lord is using you because you have a gift. You have a gift to put those words into action. You've done a great job with that book, by the way.
Thank you. Did you like it? I sent you a copy as soon as I could.
Yeah, it's really great. I have some good quotes to share.
Okay,
let me find a couple of those real quick.
Yeah, no problem. I wouldn't doubt if you haven't gotten through the whole thing yet. I've barely read the whole thing. I read it while writing it, but you know.
I'll be honest, on the e-reader edition, I'm on page 71 out of 215, so that's pretty good so far, right?
That's good. That's really good. The crazy goods come in later when you get to theories and stuff like that. So we may have to do a second live stream when you've finished all of it, and we'll talk even more about the second half. The first half alone is very medical, it's very technical, so I hope people don't get put off by that. But I wanted it to be real research, not a bunch of opinions. I don't want my opinion in here. I want it to be unbiased, you know.
Exactly. You gotta come from, like, you have to present something to the public. You know, you have to present something from an objective view. And let me just say here, there's some quotes. On page 17, you write, "What is captivating about these Mandela effects is that nobody is entirely resistant to them. They just haven't yet connected to the effect that has moved them enough to see the change." Now, I totally agree with that one. That one resonated like you don't know with me. And then also on page 17, you say the endless amount of research that is mounting each day. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, the amount of research I get sent on a daily basis, I don't even, Brian, I have people I haven't responded to since September of last year. So that's why I've been trying to like go back to the first video and like just do it in order. And I've kind of like, that whole book is a transcribing of like my first 5 videos essentially, and then using other people's research in it, but it never ends. It's mounting constantly. So I've completed this first book, but I already have a GoFundMe page, the same one I used to help donate this first book. I have it still going so that I can get people to help finish volumes 2 and 3, because I'm going alphabetically. So I started with like anatomy, stuff like that, Bible, and then I had to skip ahead and add some theories in there because I was already at several hundred pages just with those 3. But then the next book will pick up where that left off, and it will be C, D, E, F, G. So think of the categories of effects like cartoons, deaths, logos. It'll continue to go in alphabetical order. So by the time it's all done, if someone gets all 3 volumes, particularly those really smart people out there that are good at solving puzzles, I want to give those to everybody that are like super smart so they can just go through all things and like find all the clues or find the hidden codes, or there's something in this. You know what I mean? There's some hidden message. And I think if we do it A to Z in perfect order, that's the best way to get to the bottom of everything and not overlook stuff either, you know?
Yeah, not only that, you can keep people, you know, yearning for more in the next edition.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Cure Forge and Mickey Mouse. You're gonna keep those in there, right? You're definitely gonna put those in there.
Of course. I actually looked. I've been checking out your channel and Moneybag's channel to get a lot of the like pop culture changes, name changes, stuff like that. So like the first book was so fixed on like anatomy, astronomy, and theories that most of the first book was a lot of Harmony's research, because he's a physicist and a minister. He has a background in both fields, which a lot of people don't know. So that's kind of, I had to pull a lot of that stuff from him because he had the first astronomy video. He had the first anatomy video. He had a lot of firsts kind of in the Mandela community. And I found this really just through research. I didn't meet Harmony until much later. So it was just great that when I did find him, he was like willing to let me put all his physics from the Bible paper in there. And there's a lot of great stuff in the theory section for sure. But these moving forward, I have to come to guys like you and Moneybags that have like a lot of shorter videos that are just residual evidence before and afters, and that's what's going to be all the next book. So I think that'll be a lot more fun for like the everyday person too, because people can definitely relate to movies changing and logos changing and cartoons and books and stuff like that. The anatomy and the astronomy, not everybody knows all that stuff. You know, that was more of like this first book is almost like so medical and technical and quantum physics related that I think the other ones will be a lot more lighthearted. So maybe the second and third books will appeal more to people, I think. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. And I wanted to ask you, like, more and more people, it seems, are becoming more awake. They're becoming more perceptive and accepting of your work and other people's work. They're seeing the changes for themselves.
Yeah.
You have seen things change before your eyes.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. One of them, the one thing that changed right in front of my eyes was on my first video, I referenced the fact that Saudi Arabia was apparently an island for a short period of time. Now, I was only able to find a couple of screenshots of other people who did videos about this, but there was a few people that found maps on Google Maps where Saudi Arabia was literally same shape and everything, but it was moved off of the Middle East. It was not where it used to be. It wasn't landlocked. And so that blew my mind. And I put that into my first video. Later, a bunch of people debunked it, and that's how it always is. But I still remember looking at a Google map when I first saw it, and it had moved. It was an island, and my husband was here with me. And so, you know, I went back and told everybody, sorry, everyone's debunking this, and I've looked at Saudi Arabia. It's still an island now. But then my friend, Nobleness D, I don't know if you know Nobleness D. He does a lot of map change videos and stuff. He had saw my video about the Saudi Arabia thing, and then he went back and did this really detailed review looking at all the edges of Saudi Arabia and stuff. And he found these very, very, very strange marks all around the edges, as if someone had moved the island and then put it back. There was these very strange like teeth marks, like from a digger, like a big industrial digger, as if it had been moved, and then someone like tried to cover up the seams where it had been moved back. Now, I didn't see this, but Nobleness D did a full breakdown, and I think it's on his channel, where you can see these crazy drag marks. So again, someone debunked it the next day, but that looks weird to me.
and I don't know if you've seen the Google Maps on South America, right? Everybody knows or can tell who is from our world that has shifted over, and you can see drag marks in the ocean. Isn't that right?
Yeah. There's a lot of that stuff with the Google Maps. Man, it's crazy. I can't even get into that because there's so much. So I usually go to like Lone Eagle or Nobleness D. their channels, because those guys had like, they have so much work. I even put their names and YouTube channels in the first book because I didn't have time to get into it, but I knew if people got a hold of the Mandela Effect book and went, wait, maps have changed, they'd want to go straight out and start looking. So I even hyperlinked both of their channels in the book so people could just hop over and start digging in for themselves. But this second volume, it will be heavily revolving around map changes. That's going to be like half of it will be pop culture and the rest will be maps, because there's so much evidence mounting. I just don't even know where to begin with that. I'm kind of the expert on the Bible change stuff and a lot of other things like that. But when it comes to maps, I'm just like, I get lost. I'm really bad with Google Maps. But I'm thankful for everyone who takes the time to do it, because you'll see drag marks, you'll see new islands popping up all the time. We just lost the Larsen C iceberg yesterday in Antarctica. That one's actually owned by Norway. There was a crack that started in this iceberg several months ago, but just yesterday, not even 24 hours ago, the whole iceberg has broken off now, and it's on its way to South America. So I don't know what this is going to mean, but it's the size of London. This one iceberg is the size of London.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, so I think the map guys will be busy coming very soon.
Which kind of reminds me of that movie, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Do you remember at the very end when even though his home got destroyed on planet Earth, they made a second Earth to replace it?
Yes, you know, and that's a lot of other people's theories, especially people that think that we may have had the quantum death thing happen, where if we all died quantumly, then some wonderful AI has created this new reality for us so that we don't know we're dead. So that's another big one. I had to cover that too in the book a little bit, but I didn't get so deep into it yet. I'm still on the fence about that one, because I just feel like if we were all dead, then where's all my friends and family that have passed away? And where's my grandmother who just passed away a couple months ago? You know what I mean? So that's where I kind of get a little lost on that theory, but I listen to what everyone has to say, because you know what? We have been lied to about the majority of everything ever as humans. So I'm very open-minded. If someone were to tell me tomorrow that space wasn't real, that this wasn't real, I'd be upset about being lied to, but I could accept it, and I would still try to look at the bigger picture and look on the bright side. So that's what I hope people do with the Mandela Effect. I hope it doesn't scare them. I really think it should be kind of like an awakening for them.
Yeah, I don't think we should be freaked out in any way, although it is funny to have these freaking, you know, we have to keep positive, because I think something good may be on the way, you know?
I kind of imagine, like, you know, Pangea, how we used to be way back in the day, and then we separated into a bunch of continents. I have this kind of vision of, and I don't mean like a psychic one, and I'm not making a prediction, but I have this intuition that I feel like all of the land masses are slowly getting closer and closer together again. And we might be seeing this by the North Pole melting and then the South Pole breaking up. That's how Pangea was, is that all these land masses were closer together, and there was groups of little islands and stuff. So if this continues to shift so much, we have pole shifts, magnetic shifts happening, all this all at once, then that could be part of the Mandela effect too. If everything as we know it is changing electromagnetically around us, of course our matter, everything made of matter would change also. So maybe we're just kind of coming back together and going back to how it was in like the days of Noah or something, without the giants.
No, let's hope not.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
I was just looking
another theory.
But it's very possible, because we see South America trending toward Africa, moving toward Africa.
And it used to be locked together. That's what they taught us in school as kids, right? It was like you could take all those pieces and stick them together, and Africa and South America were a perfect puzzle piece. So maybe they're getting closer together. That'd be great, because then maybe spiritually people would become closer together, and maybe there wouldn't be so many divides between religions and language and misunderstandings with human beings, because we all were once on one landmass. We were all brothers and sisters. We all knew we had a God. We all knew we came from a creator. We all worked together. We traded, we bartered our services. It was a community. And it's only since the Tower of Babel that we've been separated and divided, and we all think we're separate from each other. And that's another thing the Mandela effect can do, is actually bring people of all cultures together. I have people that bought my book in Japan, Brazil, and Italy, and all kinds of places over the past week. I was blown away. Like, people in Japan are reading my book. Like, that's crazy. So we're bringing the world together here.
Yeah, absolutely. How many languages is it translated in exactly?
It's actually all just in English, but they're selling it in those countries. I do want to get everything translated, but it's a big project to translate books.
I know it's
yeah, and because I'm self-published and I don't have a publishing deal, I would have to then pay all these people to translate it. 400-page book is a lot of work just to do in English, but the fact that a lot of, English is a universal language though, so I think in all these countries, most people can read English, so that's kind of good that I didn't write it in another language. But I've had a girl from Italy say she'd like to help me translate it to Italian, and some other people into Spanish. I have a lot of viewers from Spain and from Mexico and stuff like that. So I don't know where this will go. And maybe if it's successful enough too, maybe an actual publishing company would like to back me up and help me put out volumes 2 and 3 and stuff moving forward. But I'm just going to keep doing it on my own regardless, at least for our community's sake,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Just a little tip of information. If you can make any book an audiobook with apps such as, like, say, Pocketbook.
Oh, okay. I've never tried that.
Yeah, try Pocketbook. It'll read it to you, and you could slow it down or speed it up, whatever you need to do.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, I have 2 other books also, and everyone's asked me to do those on audiobook, and I just never got around to it. But I've published 3 books in 1 year, so I haven't had so much free time to do stuff like that. But I know a lot of people love audiobooks. I do too. I listen to nothing but audiobooks. I love them. I can just fall asleep to them or have them on the background when I study or something like that. So yeah, I'll definitely do that. You're not the first person that asked me about that. So I will. I'll get there.
Convenient. You can take it. You could take Stasha's book wherever you go, whether it be in the car ride to work or coming home.
Yeah, it's true.
Anytime you want, listen to it.
Everyone has their own way they like to learn. Some people like the ebooks. They can just read it on their cell phone. If you're a smartphone person, they like the Kindle. And a lot of people are like, no, I just want a paperback. I don't want to go back to, I don't want to be techno everything. And then some people are like, I just want to listen to it. So I do see that everybody has a different way that they like to learn. So I'll definitely make them audio available at some point. I've just been so busy. It's crazy. I thought the book wouldn't be done until Christmas. I had planned on a Christmas release. So I'm actually like 6 months early from when I thought I was even going to release it. So I'm shocked still. It happened really fast.
I still think it's so amazing how you were able to do all that. You got so much coordination went into writing this book. There's another thing I wanted to ask you about your first book, which you mentioned in the actual book, and this is a book about shifting. Is that right?
Yeah, I have a copy of it right here on my desk, actually.
Can I show everybody the front cover? Or?
Yeah, I've got it here. This, I don't know how well it shows up. This is called Diary of an Asset, and that was my first book. And this is a volume 1 also, because this is like a 3-volume series as well. But this book is how this started was, this actually has the Mandela Effect in it too. That's probably what you're referring to.
Yes.
Because in my first video about the Mandela Effect, I was reading this to everybody, and it was in one of the chapters, I can't remember now, but I think it was like in the first chapter, she was basically talking about how she was like watching TV and watching a TV show that she'd always seen before, but like everything in the background was like slightly different, or the characters' names were different, or they'd use foul language, like, in a network show on ABC where you can't use foul language. So she's coming home and she's finding all this weird stuff, and she's like, I know this is my apartment, but like everything looks a little bit off. And so I didn't know what the Mandela Effect was when I was writing it, but this is what the character Sophia Snow, that's the main character, that's what she was going through in the first chapter. And she felt that she had like shifted realities or shifted some type of understanding, because she'd be like on the internet and she'd look at what she thought was just the regular internet, and then she'd look deeper and all of the spelling on the internet would be off. So like a T would be missing, an apostrophe would be missing, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so this happened. This book is actually a true story, and it's based on my spiritual awakening, as well as several of my clients that came to me with true stories, and their stories helped fill in the gaps to make it a complete novel. But I'd say 75% of this book is just my actual spiritual awakening. You'll hear me talking about going to school to learn theology back in 2011, and it's all in alignment with actual diary entries and letters that were sent to me from real people. And the dates go back to like 2011. So this book starts May 1st, 2011. So this is a compilation of all my clients' spiritual stories, my own, and if it actually has the Mandela effect in it also. So I just didn't know what it was when I wrote the book, but this has been going on at least since 2011 to myself and to other clients of mine.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you too about, because I've been having trouble with this myself. Okay, supposedly Fiona Broome named the Mandela Effect in 2009, according to some entries. But I'm remembering 2013 because that's when Mandela actually died the second time, or a third time.
Oh, wait. You know, that's a good question, but I actually have her in the book too, which you probably saw because you read it. I featured the whole story of Fiona Broome from her actual website and any other sources I could find. And I think how it actually started, the reason why it started in 2009 and Mandela hadn't died yet, was that basically just that someone saw him living, and that somebody in 2009 saw that he was living and went, wait, prison.
Oh.
So later down the line, he dies in 2013, but Fiona had this website going since 2009. And actually in my book, in chapter 1 or chapter 2, it's called What Exactly is the Mandela Effect? I feature all of Fiona's very first blog about Nelson Mandela's death, which was in 2009. And then I got all of the people who responded for the very first time before anyone knew about this. And I got all of their real reactions also. So in that chapter, it's all of her first people too, like their real raw reactions. And most of them at that point did not, he had not died yet. So they were just saying, he died in the 1980s. Why is he alive? Why is he the president? Why is he fill in the blank? So that's essentially how it started. But I did hear there was something that popped up in the last 24 hours saying that maybe she didn't name it. Was that part of it?
I believe I've heard that too. I've heard maybe somebody else named it. So
yeah,
and I've sent messages to her. I have yet to hear back, and I'm wondering if it's possible that she could have been an AI. I don't know.
I had some funny comments that went into the book also. There was a woman that swears she knew Fiona and that her name was not Fiona Broome, that was like a play on like an Irish witch. You know, Fiona's a very Irish name, Broome, well, witch is Broome. And this woman claimed that Fiona had ties to the Vatican and that she was a Vatican informant that was given a fake name and set to put out some type of an agenda. Now, that very well could be true. I don't know. I've never got to spoke to Fiona either. I basically just sent a message to the website and said, hey, I featured your website and your whole story and everything I could find here in my book. And if you want a copy, let me know. But never heard back. And again, I have everything referenced and researched. So I just pulled this stuff off of the internet and off of Wikipedia. If you go to Wikipedia, the definition that you'll receive today says, this was coined by Fiona Broome. So I could only, while writing the book, I could only go by what research was available to me. But if it comes up later that she's not who we think we are, that's very interesting too. It won't discredit the Mandela effect,
no, it won't,
but it can. But it could help understand why. I think there's a lot of people that want us to know about the Mandela effect, and then I think there's a lot of people that don't. So who knows really who's behind when my book debuted the other day, I thought it was at number 11. I double checked. It debuted at number 1. And many copies. I won't say how many I did, but it wasn't that many. It wasn't in the hundreds. It was nothing crazy. But someone let my book get to number 1, the paperback, and number 3 in the same category. I took a screenshot of it, of the video I just put up today. So somehow paperback was number 1 and Kindle was number 3 on Amazon. And I thought, I didn't sell that many copies. They must really want this out there. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of sitting back and watching, but I feel there is a level of this that people do behind the scenes do want this to come forward. What it's all going to mean, I don't know. And I still never claim that I know what it is. I'm kind of along for the ride, and I can't wait to see.
I'm the same way. I'm exactly, we're a lot alike, you know, you and I.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we never really talked before, so I'm glad that we're finally able to start talking and researching and bouncing stuff off of each other. You know, it's important that this Mandela Effect community is very small. I want to just say this to everybody watching this video and everybody in the Mandela Effect community. We have to remember what it felt like a year ago or a couple of years ago when we first found out about the Mandela Effect, and how excited we were, especially when we found other people online that were doing the same research that we were. And when I found people like Moneybags and Harmony alone, I was so thankful to God for that. Now, fast forward about a year later, I've seen more division within our small little community than I would ever care to see. And I just want to remind everybody out there, just remember what it was like when you first found that other Mandela Effectian, and how good it felt to know that you weren't alone. We have to come back together in this community. I don't care how small the differences are, but we have to come together, because there's really only like 10 to 20 of us doing this work. And we've got to come together, because otherwise it will make the whole thing seem incredible or not credible. And if you're in it for the wrong reasons, if you're putting Mandela Effect videos out for a different agenda, it would be best to just step back now and let the people that are really serious about this continue to do the work, because it is a serious thing. And that's all I wanted to say about that. But that's been on my chest for a while. I just wanted to say, I remember how great it felt to find even just one more person that believed in the Mandela Effect or saw it. And we are very lucky to have each other. So I think more of us should do more of these and stay close together. It's really important.
I think so too. And honestly, the videos that I put up about certain somebody, I'm going to take them down, just to show that we are a community and we stick together. Yeah, and I saw the videos. I seen you had a lot of support on both sides. So, you know, I've been attacked too by many other YouTubers. I've been attacked by people I don't know. And I think that just goes with the territory. It's just kind of how it is. We have to just know ourselves. Once you know yourself and God knows you and you know who you are as a person, you don't have to prove things to people anymore. And I've been guilty of it too. I've made defensive videos where I've defended myself. People still to this day call me a witch and not a Christian. And I've even shown my grades and my financial aid receipts because of how much people have doubted me. And I realized that's it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's my relationship with the Creator that matters when I leave this earth. So that's all that matters for you and me and anybody else. So we just have to think about the bigger picture and not get so, you know, devil is in the details. So let's not get lost in all the little stuff. You're absolutely right. I think we need to definitely come together and forget our differences.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, okay, going back.
We're saying hi to some people. Oh, I see everyone in the chat room here. I'll just say hello to everybody. Hi, Dead GPK. That's one of my new subscribers. And Michelle and Sacred Appleseed. Sacred Appleseed, I think some of your comments might be in the Mandela Effect book. Data Junkie. Hi, Data Junkie.
Hey, Data Junkie.
I pretty much know just about everybody in here. I won't get lost on this forever. Hi, Nate. Nate's in the book too. A lot of great people over here. So hi, everybody. I don't look at the chat when I'm getting interviewed because I'm really bad at multitasking, but I love you guys. Hi, Santrees13. Hi, everybody. Okay, now I'll come back to you, Brian. Sorry.
And for all of you out there who are watching, I will post a link in the description or in the comments here for the link to her book.
Yeah, cool.
I think we should totally support Stasha, because she did put a lot of time. How much time would you say you put into that book?
Well, I started on September 3rd, the day I made the video, and I didn't stop until 3 weeks ago. So it was 10 months straight of writing every single day. And I didn't just write. I had to give these things to proofreaders. I had to go to copy editors. I had to go to fact checkers. I had to, it's very intense. When you don't have a publishing deal, you do everything from start to finish to the layout and design of your book yourself. And so it's been a really long effort. I have a really great editing team that helped me do all that stuff as well. But, you know, everything has been out of pocket for me. So it's been really hard. And even the books I'm selling for very, very little markup. I'm basically making $1 on the Kindle and even less than $1 on the paperback, to be honest. So for me, this really has been to help the community. So if people want to support me, the best way to do that is just to keep going to the GoFundMe page. And that's where people can continue to donate for the upcoming books and stuff moving forward. I do have a Patreon page as well. I only have like 10 people on there, but that's another way you can support me. Or even on my website right now, I have a bunch of organic fruit and vegetable and herb seeds that are from my garden that are like non-GMO. I do a lot of organic gardening too. So I've got like all little ways that you can come and support me on my website, and it's really appreciated. I'm not allowed to work in Norway because I still am not a citizen. So I'm just a full-time student, and the Mandela Effect is 100% my hobby. So yeah, my husband supports me. I don't work at all right now. I can't, you know, master's in theology is really hard, and writing all these books has been really hard. So I dedicate my whole life to this phenomena and to learning more about God. And that's just where I am right now. This is where I'm at now, you know?
But I think like your character in the first book, we're all on our spiritual journey. You know, this has definitely become something, a stimulant. The Mandela Effect has stimulated our awareness. And I'm very thankful. Are you thankful now that you're awake?
Oh yeah. And you know, my awakening popped before this book. It probably happened in this book, you know, the Diary of an Asset book, but it has strengthened my awakening. It has deepened it. It has made me look even further. I used to just accept every conspiracy theory as the truth once I knew we were being lied to. And then I realized you can't even do that. You got to dig deeper and deeper and deeper. And even when it came to the presidential elections, I was never going to vote for Hillary Clinton. But guess what I did? I read every single WikiLeaks email. Do you know how many of there was? It took me like 3 months. And I did that just so that I could fully understand the whole presidential campaign. Before, I wouldn't even have thought about stuff like that. So I think it's made me look deeper into everything in life from A to Z. So I'm very grateful for it. I thank God every day that I have the Mandela Effect.
I'm the same way. I thank God too every day. And for the people he puts in my path too. Including you. You know, I'm so glad we met you on here.
Yeah, there's no accidents on this journey, Brian. I'm very glad we've been able to connect with each other as well. It's really important that just human beings treat each other with respect, because we need each other. You know, humanity's not something that should be divided. We have to just really start respecting everybody for whatever their beliefs are, whatever their backgrounds are, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever, atheist, Satanist. I accept everybody and love everybody because we're all on our own little path. We all have our own purpose that we're here for. And we all have our own missions. So if we were all the same, we'd never get anything done. You know, we need this variety. And I thank God for you too, Brian. So it's a very nice thing to say.
Oh, thank you. I like how you put in your book, you say science fiction is intimately approaching science fact. I do like that too. Because it's making the unbelievable believable now. We see dragons in the Bible, isn't that right? Dragons and unicorns. What other Bible changes significantly have you noticed?
Oh man. God, that's a long statement. Well, so many
major ones.
I think some of the strangest ones for me have really been like the ones that have really affected me are like the book titles changing, like the title of the book, like Saint John the Divine, or all these different saints being in there now, and the epistles of this guy or the this of that guy. I don't remember these strange titles to the books. Those are really the strangest ones that drive me crazy. Particularly the book of Revelations. I always thought it was known as the Revelations of Jesus Christ, and now it's the revelation of Saint John the Divine. And I know John was obviously the one that had the vision, but I just thought that he was speaking on behalf of Jesus's visions. You know what I mean? The vision that Jesus sent him. So that's been a really big one that's bothered me. I I got deeply into the judge not lest ye be judged and into the lion and the lamb in the book. Those were two of the main ones that I focused on. But another one that really bothers me, probably the biggest one, is the Queen Elizabeth insert that is at the beginning of every King James Bible. That one really bothers me. I put that in the book also. And I also found a list of over 500 words that were changed in the KJV in 2006. And the way these words were changed actually changed the entire meaning of what the scripture would have originally meant. So this list of 500 words I've also included in the Mandela Effect book. It's so mind-blowing. And all this research has led me to find out that there is so much more about the King James Bible that most people don't understand. And I'm going to be, when I'm done with the Mandela Effect books, I'll be releasing a book about the truth about the King James Bible, because there's a lot more that happened to that book that people realize. And that tends to be the main book that everybody sees changing too, Brian.
Yeah, and I see perversion. There's a lot of perversion in there now. Like, for instance, two men in a bed.
Yeah.
And then the next verse over it says two women grinding at the mill.
And that's like, isn't that like that's even like the rapture one, isn't it? That's the part where they're talking all about people getting raptured and stuff like that. Oh, someone just popped in and said, what about the Geneva Bible? Yeah. Geneva Bible. Sorry, guys. I see there's a lot of questions for me here. I may have to do another one of these with Brian someday because I can't get to all of them. But the Geneva Bible, I'm glad he said that. A lot of these older Bibles have not been touched like that. You know what I mean? But these newer ones, and when you look at really, like, if you know what a spell is, right? Like a witchcraft spell. And a spell is like just words. It's spelling. That's what spelling means. And if someone has taken this long insert and they start the Bible with all this strange stuff to Queen Elizabeth I, and they're very weird, cryptic words, this insert, it's talking about how we have a loving, nursing father, like that our father's nursing us. Just, it's very strange. If that's allowed to be at the beginning of our Bible, who allowed that? Because I thought that if we added or took away anything from that book, that was blasphemy. So I think there's just a lot that has been hidden from us for a very long time. But these older versions of the Bible, like Geneva Bible, and I don't know, you can just go to the good old Torah, the old school stuff. That's where you'll really find God's message. I just feel like the newer stuff is super twisted. My next class is Old Testament survey, so I can't wait to give you guys some good videos when I start that class next week.
Yeah. Real quick, I just wanted to touch up on a couple of things and see if you noticed. Matthew 11:15. He who hath the eyes to see, let him see. He who hath the ears to hear, let him hear. The eyes to see has been removed. And the other one
what was that one again? Oh, yeah, the eyes removed. Yes.
Yes, Matthew 11:15. And another one is, I think it's John 8:32, that talks about Jesus supposedly being suicidal, or his disciples thought he was suicidal.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
That's really strange. I feel like they're trying to make him look weak, honestly. I think a lot of this has to do with making our Savior look weak. And throughout my degree in school, I do have to learn about the enemy too. And one of the classes I took, we had to learn a lot about Freemasonry. And there's this ultimate secret of Freemasonry. And the number one secret, if you get a hand on one of the really old books, like their Bibles, which only get passed in between Masons, I've never been able to see one in real life, but I've seen photocopies of one. But on page 1 of the Freemason Bible, and they call it the Freemason Bible, it talks about that the true name of God is actually, well, I just hate to say it, but it's his adversary. That Jesus is Satan, essentially. This is what they believe, and this is how they start out their Bible. So they say, oh, the biggest secret that the world doesn't know is that Jesus is really Satan, and Satan's really Jesus, praying to the wrong God and all this stuff. So now again, could be a total lie, and why wouldn't it be if these guys are deceivers? But that's what they believe. So of course they would want to make our master look weak. They've been lying to us all along. And if they wrote our Bible,
yeah,
you know.
And I think that's sort of a psyop to get you to believe, and to mess people up.
Yes, exactly. Like what's up is down, what's down is up. That's why their whole thing is as above, so below. That's why I tell people, if you're a Christian, don't be afraid to like study what your enemy believes, because it makes you a stronger Christian to know what other people are up to behind the scenes. I've read the Quran. I've read the Babylonian Talmud. I read some of the heaviest religious texts, and you would be shocked how our Savior is talked about in those books. I just won't get into it, but we have to start knowing what other people know. We have the internet. We should be able to read every religious text. We should never have misunderstandings anymore. And then we can really kind of know what your neighbor knows, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's
crazy.
Definitely interesting. We're coming down to the last 10 minutes here.
Oh, yeah, I know. I told you we'd probably talk and it would be like, yeah, and then the time would fly. So
I know. I hate putting such a time constraint on something like this, because we could talk literally for hours, it seems, you know?
Yes, and that's what I think. We probably can make this happen again soon. No one can probably tell from looking outside because it looks super bright, but it's like 8 o'clock at night here in Norway, but we have midnight sun. So I will have this sunny sky until midnight tonight. But yeah, it's getting a little late for me, and I've been at school for like 6 hours already today. But I really wanted to meet with Brian and meet with all of you guys. So that's the 9-hour time difference we're dealing with. But I appreciate you making time for me today. I really do.
Thank you too, Stasha. I appreciate it. The other thing, well, I wanted to ask you about the kids. When do the kids go back to school? Or are they in summer break right now?
Well, my son, he just graduated from high school, and he's soon 18. And my daughter is soon 20, and she lives in California, where the rest of my family is. That's where I'm from. And she's over there working and going to school in California. And then I have a stepson with my husband now, who is going to be 11 next week. So he just got out of school also. But yeah, I have 2 adults and 1 very small child. I'm very busy. I'm a very busy person.
Oh, I'm sure. Do they help support you, your family?
Oh yeah, they used to think what I did was super crazy, but my daughter is like ultra smart, really smart, and she learns a lot about, like, you name something from history and she'll know more about it than I will. Both my kids grew up in Ireland, and they had their education in Ireland, which is a very strict system. So they're very well educated, just have really great heads on their shoulders, and they're also very spiritual and open-minded. So even my 11-year-old, he totally supports what I do, and he'll make funny little comments like, Illuminati confirmed, like if he sees something crazy. So even he knows. He probably learned it from the internet, not so much from me. But yeah, my family, my kids are everything. You know, if I could have like 100 more kids, if it was possible, that's my life's all about, like, kids, animals, and in God. You know, I'm pretty simple. I grew up in Hollywood and did all that cool girl stuff my whole life, and it never served me anything. So I walked away from it May 1st of 2011 and went to my theology degree. And that's truly my story. So if you really want to, especially for the haters out there that think that I'm like up to something, read this book and then you'll really know how this all started. We're all here with a big divine mission right now. So we have to support one another.
Well, let me ask you something too about the Zodiac real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I read part of it where the Virgo sign has changed as well. I did not know that. I've heard that the Capricorn sign has changed. Now, can you want to describe Virgo? How it changed?
Yeah. A lot of people don't know about this one either. It's not one of the most common effects. I actually found it because I'm a Virgo, and I was doing all the deep research about the zodiac changes. And first one being the sea goat. I put a whole chapter in the book about the sea goat, which blows my mind. So I saw that changed. And then I looked at the Virgo symbolism on the internet, and I started reading really deeply. And Virgo was always known as the abundant mother of the harvest. So she was the mother figure, and she had the big cornucopia, which fruit of the loom. She had the cornucopia with all the, harvest, and that was her symbol. She was the mother, the virgin, the harvest queen. Now, when you look her up, she is depicted as this tiny little maiden, like a little girl. And she no longer has a cornucopia. She just has a little stalk of wheat, like a piece of wheat. And that's it. And she doesn't stand for abundance. She doesn't stand for the harvest. She's no longer the mother figure. She's like a little maiden. So I don't know what that's about, but I put that in the book also. I thought that was super strange.
Yes, and didn't you say she's a water bearer, much like Aquarius is now?
Yes, that's correct. And there was another depiction that I found in one of my own books, and I think this is in one of my videos called "The Bible and Astrology Has Changed." I found a book that I have, it's just not around here, but they had a picture of Virgo, and she was a water bearer. Yeah, she was pouring out like a big pitcher of water. So now she's been a maiden and a water bearer, but she's supposed to be the mother. She's like the mother figure of the zodiac. If you had to say who's the mom, that's her. So it's very weird. They're twisting her left and right too. That's got to be significant, because you know these big prophecies everybody talks about on September 23rd or this or that and the other. Yes. They all revolve around a Virgo constellation in the sky and someone giving birth during that time, birthing in the new age or birthing in a new Messiah. That's what other people believe. This is not my theory. But these big theories about the prophecies are all linked to the Virgo constellation. So I feel like if there's something bigger and deeper going on, they would, of course, start changing her first, because this whole, if there ever was an end of the world scenario, they believe it's revolved around her, her constellation being in the sky. That's what I've learned. So I don't know, but I feel like it's connected.
I think so too.
Yeah.
There was something else I was thinking about the zodiac. You said this changed in 2011 actually. And when was this new zodiac with the 13th sign? When was that put into effect?
Oh, NASA. They're
NASA.
my nightmare. Yeah, and I've been getting attacked lately by this guy on YouTube too, and I think his anagram is NASA. I saw him attacking you as well and a few other people. I'm like, I can't get away from NASA. They changed our astrology signs. I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but it's in the book. And it was in the past year or two, I think. I think it was like 2016 or something like it. wasn't that long ago. Yeah, and yeah, NASA said, hey guys, sorry to break this to you, but after 2,000 years, we've changed your astrology sign because, well, the Earth's been wobbling and stuff. Like, it was the weirdest explanation ever. And when the Babylonians set the stars, everything was different then. So you've all been living under the wrong sign your whole life. And then they just changed it all, added this 13th sign. Now, the 13th sign did exist. He was part of the Babylonian days. He is found in the Babylonian Talmud, which are the first astrology people, but it was removed. Ophiuchus, the 13th sign, was removed by modern men. So that is something in itself too. Who took it away and why? His constellation is known as Serpentaris, and it's a constellation that's always there. So this is nothing new. But it's like NASA are always kind of control our narrative somehow. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what's really going on with that place?
I don't know. And now they've discovered there's new discoveries happening every day.
It's like 12th planet, 13th planet, 17th planet, you know, everything.
Yeah, and when, did you discover recently too that Pluto was in the Kuiper Belt now? It wasn't even an original planet. It was like a comet or something like that joined our. It was in the Kuiper Belt.
Whoa, it's in the Kuiper Belt. I mean, I remember it being a planet. I'm still blown away that it's not a planet. Whether they want to tell us it's not or not, it's like, how do you go from a planet to a not planet? It's not like a star to a star. It's a planet. What? You know, like.
And look at Jupiter.
Why any of it? Yeah.
All you gotta do is look at Jupiter. Jupiter has rings now. That never happened. Yeah. It never was like that.
It's so hard to even know what to believe anymore. I think the biggest unveiling we will have to see in our future is what is really going on at NASA, for real. I think that is one of the biggest secrets of all. And that's why half of, well, not half, but a fourth of my book is a ton of NASA research also into all the moon landings, 6 of them, which I still only remember 1, but I got really deep into all this stuff because they keep every single like Mandela Effect somehow, like the big ones, all link back to NASA eventually or something to do with NASA. I find it very strange. And so I think that's the biggest secret that's going to be revealed. What's real about NASA? You know, is the sun, moon, and stars real? Are we seeing an artificial sun? I put a whole thing about sun patents that Bausch and Lomb have fake suns that they've been patenting since the 1960s that go into your area, and they're like satellites that can rotate and spin, so you wouldn't know if it was fake or not. There's a lot of very strange stuff going on, so I think that could be the biggest secret to be revealed. And if we find out what's the truth about these planets and space and whatnot, then we'll probably find out even more truth. I think the best thing that these guys can do is tell us what the heck we're really doing here. If we are their experiment, if we are whatever, just tell us, you know? People are only angry because they know they're being lied to. If you could just tell us the truth, we'd probably surprise everybody and be more accepting of it, you know? And then we'd know a little bit more about why we're here too.
And then we'll discover more about ourselves.
Exactly. And I'm not someone that gets into like, is the earth flat or is it round, or
we can't prove about that. Way. We can't prove it either way. There's no point.
I don't think it changes our daily life. It would just be yet another thing that they lied to us about in the long string of lies that I could accept easily. If they say, hey, it's flat, here's the proof. I'll accept it if that's how it is. But my point is, it's nothing that changes what's going on right now. And I think there's a bigger picture going on than even that. And if anything, I would say one thing I do know is true is that we have a hollow earth. That is 100%. There's many underground places going on. That's heavily documented. You can't document flat earth, you know what I mean? So I can say, yeah, I believe we have a hollow earth, but beyond that, I don't know. And I don't care really, to be honest. I care more about human beings and their souls and their happiness.
Exactly. Like I tell people, it's not all about logo changes. Logos are only blue. You know,
that's why I didn't even get to logos until the second book, because I just don't feel like it's life-changing, you know?
Yeah, it's only the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
That we've hit. I want to share with people what the link will look like whenever you go to check out her book. This is her book on Amazon. 2
reviews there. I just saw 2 reviews already up. You guys are so nice.
I'm gonna put a review on there too.
Cool.
The Mandela Effect. Everything is changing. You can get the Kindle edition. It's only $3.99. If you have a Kindle Unlimited account, it's free, of course.
Yeah, you get it free if you have Kindle Unlimited. I always forget to tell people that.
If you have any non-believer friends out there, go ahead and get one of these books and hand it to them, because it will definitely explain the Mandela Effect. And I like how you put Mandela on the cover there.
He started everything. We got to give him the credit for the first book. He won't be on the second book, but book 1 was all about how it started, and I had to go in order of, you know, how it really began. And if we find out later someone else named it and it had nothing to do with Fiona and Mandela, then I'll change it to a new cover for the second book. But it started with him, and we got to give him some credit on this. R.I.P. Mandela.
I wanted to ask you too about the name Nelson Mandela. Somebody pointed out to me that if you look at the name Nelson and capitalize S-O-N and capitalize Mandela, the first 3 letters of his last name, it looks like son of man, sort of in a way.
Ooh.
Very important to know.
I like that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can get into with etymologies of words and breaking them down, so that's interesting.
And I was going to ask you, is there any secret code here to the black lettering on some of these and red lettering? Is there any code there? Anything?
No. That was just the design team that I worked with. They're always just really creative, and they're always just like making it nice. I said I wanted this book to be more clean and like more black and white. And he thought, well, black and white would be just too plain. Let's throw some red in there too to make it pop a little bit. So he just kind of did that on his own. That was my designer. His name is Frank. He's a really cool guy. He does all of my books. He's done all of my books in the past too. So that was just like a design choice, nothing more.
You guys definitely did an awesome job. And you really have put so much work into it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And if people just go to my regular website, which is StashaEriksen.com, that's like a landing pad where you can kind of find everything that I do, from books to different services. I have a video blog on there. So every single video I put on YouTube, I have a blog there, and anybody can sign up to be a part of my website for free. And you can leave comments on my video blog. If you don't like to comment on YouTube and you don't want to deal with trolls, I have like a comment section set up on the blog. And I have the GoFundMe page for the ongoing Mandela Effect project is on my website also. If you click on, there's like a books tab, and the books tab, you'll see all my other books. I have another one too. I'm like an animal activist as well, so I have another one that's called Animal Communication.
Nice.
Yeah, and it teaches you how to communicate with animals. It also has a lot of history about animal activism and stuff like that. But you can get all those books on that tab. And like I said, I even have like non-GMO organic gardening seeds and stuff. I don't do so much. I'm just kind of, do a few things here and there to help humanity. But you can find all the stuff that I do, support me there on that page. And
thank you, Stasha. If you'll send me those.
I'm just excited. I'm excited that people are interested in the effect and want to read these books. And it makes me feel so blessed and so special to be part of this.
Well, and I will do my best to get word out there for you. I'll go ahead and buy one of your books. Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Even though I gave you a copy, you can buy one too. And
I may buy like 10 of them, maybe. We'll see. And I'll probably be giving them out on my show.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's great. I appreciate it, Brian. And I'm going to make it available on some other platforms. If everyone goes to my channel today, I just shared the link for all the countries that you can buy the paperback in. Right now, it's only available in 7 countries, but I'm going to release it on other platforms too, so that it can be available in even more places. So if you really want a paperback and it's not available in your area, if you donate to the GoFundMe page, if you donate more than $40 or more, then you will get a signed paperback from me. So what I do is I buy a paperback for you, which costs me about 20 bucks. I read it, I sign it. Amazon don't give free copies. They're really stingy. So I pay for my own books. But I'll read them and sign them, and I'm mailing them off to everybody who makes a $40 donation or more. Anybody that donates less than that, even if it's $1, I give everybody a copy of the Kindle book for free for their donation. So if you want a Kindle soon, just go donate $1, $5, $10, whatever to the campaign, and I'll send you a free copy. And then anyone who donates, your name also will end up in the dedication section of the next book also. And if you look at this first one, everyone who donated, down to the penny, I put the amount there and who everybody was that donated. So you'll get thanked in the book as well. So it's a community project, and I just appreciate anybody's support. It means the world to me.
Stasha, would you mind sending me all those links? Would you mind emailing them to me, and I'll post them for everyone, okay?
Yeah, no problem. Should I just do it after we wrap up, or do it now? Okay, that's perfect.
I'll post it because I can't post it right now because it's live.
Oh yeah, that whole chat thing. And hi everybody, I'm so sorry I couldn't get to everybody's questions, but
sorry, we're not ignoring you guys. There's so much we have to talk about.
So much to talk about, and you guys can go on my channel and you can leave comments and you can message me there and you can email me directly from my website. I get really busy, but I don't ignore people. I just deal with everybody in order of how they came. So if it takes me a while to get back to you, it's just that I haven't got to your email yet. But I'm fully transparent. You can reach out to me with a question anytime, and I'll always be there for you.
And it's good to know you're real and not one of those AIs.
Oh no, I'm not an AI. I got a lot of videos on my channel about AI, so you can see I'm I'm not a fan.
And we are so glad to have the spiritual support we have. And I wanted to ask you one more question. Is there anything that you think got left out of the final draft?
So much. And that's why I have to write a volume 2. And that's because there was just no way to compile the full Mandela Effect into one book. 350 pages, this book is 250. It's pretty thick. So I haven't even seen my paperbacks yet. They're going to be like that. So for people to get through 350 pages already, that's heavy. So I just want people take the first one, let it soak in. Maybe they have to read it a few times. And then 2, like I said, 2 with the maps and the logos and the pop culture for the goods. I think that'll be more fun and lighthearted, not so serious, not so scientific and medical and religious like the first book. This can be more catered to everybody, I think. So everything that didn't make it in the first one will go into the second one.
Yeah, and I think something like this project is so expansive. You're going to be working hard.
I'll be busy for a long time.
Well, thank you, Stasha. And I want to leave on a positive note. we were all meant to see the changes for a reason. And it's only a matter of time before the rest of this population wakes up to the truth also. And it's like, you know, we woke up from a dream, right? And or a coma or whatever the heck we were in. And we were given the eyes to see and the ears to hear. So it's a gift. And I thank all of you for joining us today. And thank you, Miss Stasha. And it was lovely having you on. And you know, you've reached out to so many people and touched their hearts with your new book. And I'm sure it's going to be a huge success. And so thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. You almost made me cry. I'm really sensitive. I was afraid everybody was just going to laugh at me and call me crazy. I'm used to that.
I'm laughing with you. I'm laughing with
you. And I feel the support. You know, the troll comments, they're always the same. It's, you guys are crazy, uninformed. But when there's the few people that reach out and they're really genuine and it means a lot, then it makes all this hard work and all the attacks that I get and all the trolling worth it, because I'm helping true human beings grow spiritually. And that's, if that's why I'm on planet Earth, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
God bless you, Stasha. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a great Mandela Effect day, okay?
Thank you. God bless you too. And yeah, and everybody, even people that can't support me, just pray for me. I love when people pray for me because I sometimes forget to pray for myself. So prayers always also help a lot.
You're in my thoughts and prayers. And I am going to be giving away books, your books on my show. So
cool. You may even get them before I do. You might even get paperbacks before I do because I'm so far away in Norway.
Well, where do they get shipped from the States or they get shipped from Norway? Good question.
They're going to ship from Amazon to California. That's my home address is California. And then my family will ship them to me in Norway. And then I have to proofread them and send them out. So probably September, honestly, guys, by the time the paperbacks get to all of your homes that donated. But if you don't want to wait, just go order it and you'll get it in Amazon in like 24 hours. They have like rush delivery. And so most people will have the book before I do. So that's exciting though. That's why I wrote it for everybody, really not for me at all.
Thank you so much, Stasha. It was lovely having you.
So welcome, Brian. Take care and God bless. And thanks everybody for being in the chat. And I'll see you guys soon.
See you next time.
Okay. Bye-bye.